don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I'm originally from Dallas. That's where I grew up when it comes to being a DJ. Got all my training there. And anybody who's ever been to Dallas knows that the humidity is just a knife in your throat. You know, it's really bad. Houston is even worse, but I don't live there, so I don't have to deal with it. Anyway, I now live in Lubbock, Texas, which is in the panhandle of Texas, and the climate is just absolutely phenomenally different. If you look on a map, I think it's a topographical map or whatever, you can see that West Texas is pretty much the desert, you know. And anyway, I'm still in Texas, but it doesn't feel like it, man. We got a record snowfall this winter. I'm sure everybody did, but you know, growing up, I didn't know what snow was. It wasn't until I joined the Navy and was in Groton, Connecticut, before I saw my first real snow. I mean, sure, we had sleet and ice in Dallas and all that, but you know, never really any snow. And this year, we got some snow. Christmas morning, oh my goodness, it was a white Christmas, and it's my first ever. I was really happy. I went out to the garage and I built my kids a sled. I was like, we cannot pass up this opportunity. I dug out my riding lawnmower and pulled them around on the sled. We got some great pictures. It was really neat. But aside from the snow, I love the weather because this one particular day last summer, it was 107 degrees. It was hot, right? I got no problems. It's cool. It's awesome. Well, something happened, and I had to drive back to Dallas to deal with the situation, and it was 92 degrees, I think it was. I was in HE double hockey sticks. I'm telling you, it was, I couldn't stand it. I hated it. I was like, thank goodness we got out of here. If it wasn't for the weather, I wouldn't stay there, you know. Actually, honestly, it wasn't the weather at all that brought me here. But there's wind here. And I mean substantial wind. In fact, right now, every flag I can see, you know, a dealership, you know how car dealerships like to have the biggest flag in town? They are perfectly at attention, you know. Flags that big don't normally like to fly fully rigid. You know, they're so heavy and the wind just doesn't usually sustain it. Well, here we got some wind, buddy. And I'm really excited because when I was living in Hawaii, I learned how to fly kites. Now, you might not think that that's a big deal. Everybody knows how to fly a kite, right? Well, I'm talking about several meter parafoils. You know, at the time I weighed probably 220, and it would lift me 15, 20 feet in the air. This kite would just whoop, yank me up in the air. Like, oh my God, what happened? Actually, I knew what happened, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And so when I got back to Dallas, there's no wind, and thus there's no kite shop. And you know, so I've been without kites for 10 years. Well, here in Lubbock, there's tons of wind. And I was like, with as much wind as this guy, there's got to be a kite shop, right? It took me 3 months, but I finally found a kite shop, and I got some kites. I have a 1.2 meter 4-line kite, a 2.7 2-line kite, and a 6.8 4-line, but you really can't fly it 4-string. You have to fly it 2. So really, it becomes a 2-line with a safety string. And now, I didn't know this, but 6.8 meters is 18.5 feet. My big kite is 18.5 feet from the left to the right, and in, you know, 7-mile-an-hour wind, 10-mile-an-hour wind, that sucker will drag you around, I'm telling you. Whew, you think you got bad knees? Wait till you fly this sucker. Well, I don't weigh 220 anymore. I actually weigh very close to 300, and this kite still picks me up. Very recently, I gave a lecture to a local high school about the history of kites, and we went outside and did a little kite demo. Well, I gave my little digital camera to one of the students. I was like, you know, take some pictures for me. Well, she just happened to catch a picture of me about 5.5 feet off the ground. I was on my way down, but still, I'm a pretty big guy. That's a pretty big kite. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when you can see how nature can just treat you like a rag doll, but not get hurt. You know, I'm not saying I'd ever go stand in a hurricane or anything. No. And I certainly wouldn't fly a kite. You kidding me? But anyway, the whole reason I'm telling you about all this is we're in a dust storm right now. It's 7 o'clock. I can see the sun. It's probably about I don't know, 40 degrees off the horizon, and you know, we should have plenty of good light, but it's getting dark already. And it's not because it's cloudy, it's because it's dusty. If you were to see the horizon, it's brown. That's weird. It's not smog. It's not air pollution. It's dust in the... It's a dust storm. It's crazy. And forget about having a clean car. I mean, there's car washes everywhere. I'm sure they make a killing around here, but I just said forget it, you know. It's a work truck. Anyway, so that's my little rant about Lubbock. Talk to you guys later. All right, I tried to get some video of the horizon so you could see the brownness that I'm talking about, and on the camera you just can't see it. I guess it's just not defined enough. But you know, it really reminds me of the first days of first-person shooter games, like Heretic and Hexen, or it wasn't really Doom. Doom hadn't come out yet. But back in those days, the computers couldn't handle they didn't have the processing power to render the graphics beyond, you know, we'll just say virtually 50 feet. So they used fog to introduce new terrain or new buildings, and you know, that, thank goodness that's gone. now we actually have the processing power. We can have infinite vanishing points, and it's really nice. But back in the days, it was fog. I'm sure some of you remember, and that's what I see off in the distance. You know, the horizon is blurry. It reminds me of the early days. All right, enough about the weather. I'm out of here. See ya.
Those shoes have been up here forever.